Welcome back to Unveiling the Truth. We're your hosts, Nuffer
and Nelly, and today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day.
Yes, so without further ado, let's go unveil the truth.
So just like we said, we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day. It's coming up February 14th. You know, as it comes up, either makes you super happy or super sad that you're lonely and single. But
way to rub it in.
That being said, little did everybody know that this is another Catholic contribution to society.
Yes.
So Valentine's Day is actually a saint holiday. I mean, a Catholic holiday, because it is based upon a saint, Saint Valentine, which is actually my brother's confirmation sponsor. Which is hilarious. Everybody thought he was joking when he picked Saint Valentine. And then
why did he pick Saint Valentine?
Well, because of what he stood for. You know, like the marriage in the traditional way. You know, he was a bishop and everything like that. So, yeah, and that's what we all kind of laughed first because, you know, RT's a jokester.
Yeah.
But then he's like, no, I mean it. He was pretty batty. Like, he was a baddie. And so he told us his story and we're just like, well, dang, I see why you chose him. So, yeah, so Valentine's Day, while everybody gives each other chocolate, they're actually just remembering a guy who got beheaded for the sake of righteousness. So,
nice.
Yeah, so Never's going to give us a little bit of backstory on him. So you guys know who Saint Valentine is,
right?
Who brought us our very happy, loving day of loving each other, I guess.
Yeah. So according to my notes, he was actually a Roman saint, and traditionally he was celebrated on February 14th. Prior to the 1969 change to the liturgical calendar, his feast day was like kind of officiated, I guess, but they sort of removed him from the calendar because not much is known about the guy. He lived hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but he is still recognized in the calendar, still recognized as a saint, and people still kind of kept the tradition of celebrating on February 14th. When we normally think about Valentine's Day, we tend to think about hearts and the chocolates and the candies and the, you know, lovey-dovey stuff and whatever. And the reason why that's actually associated with Saint Valentine is because of what he used to do during his lifetime. There actually is an association between him and the concept of love and happy, holy marriages, which is pretty much the opposite of what we actually do today. And he would think of it all as an abomination.
Yeah, literally everything that is now seen today regarding Valentine's Day, you know, love who you love, free love, you know, not waiting until marriage, all this stuff is exactly the opposite of what Saint Valentine fought for. And he would be disgusted if he saw, like, wow, I literally was beaten, flogged, and beheaded to, like, protect traditional marriage and to make sure that people knew that you had to get married before reproducing, and now it's love who you love. Like, he would be absolutely disgusted.
Yeah, so pretty much what happened was that just in this time, the Roman emperor, he obviously, you know, Rome was a very big militant society, and he wanted a lot of young soldiers, young men, to fight for the Roman army. And he had this belief that the Roman soldiers were more powerful or more willing to serve if they weren't married. Because he thought, if they're married, they're not going to want to go into war and get killed and leave their wives behind. Right. So, like, just don't get married. But, you know, you can have kids and whatever because we need more men in Rome.
Exactly.
And so St. Valentine was like, had me messed up, you're doing that. And so he was like, no, if people want to get married, let them get married. Like, why are you being so weird
and not
about
just
it?
that, the Romans had, like, no moral compass, so you could marry men on men, women on women, inanimate objects, dogs, anything. Like, they didn't care, like, who you were with, and but they didn't support marriage either. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a very double-edged sword. Sorry. And so Saint Valentine was like, no, if people want to get married in the church, they want to do things right, and they want to have a holy marriage and then procreate, which is the way God has ordered it to be, I am going to make that happen. Right. And so because he was the Bishop of Rome at this time, well, I guess he wasn't a pope, but he was a bishop in Rome. I was not going to have to stop for a second. I was like, wait. No, he was a bishop in Rome. He would secretly marry couples who wanted to get married. Right. And so that's how he was preserving the sanctity of the sacrament of marriage.
Right. And so then he got thrown in prison for standing up and being like, no, you know, it's between a man and a woman. You have to get married before you procreate. He got thrown in prison, and even in prison, he was still writing letters counseling young teenagers. And that's why he's the patron saint of young teenagers, because he was counseling all these people while he was still in prison. So he was still doing his job, even though they put him behind bars. And so that's why you get this idea of, like, writing Valentine's letters to each other, because Saint Valentine would write those letters and then sign it, "Love Your Valentine."
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
so
Valentine. And I think one of those was actually also, well, legend or the story goes that the jailer's daughter became a good friend of his, and right before he was going to get beheaded on February 14th, he actually left a last letter for her and signed it, "Your friend Valentine," or "Love your Valentine."
So not only was he getting executed, but he was flogged and beaten and then tried to behead him. So that's why there's that I heard this poem and it says, "Roses are red, violets are blue. I was stoned, beaten, and beheaded. These flowers are for you." And it was a Valentine's Day. I'm like, it's so true. Like, Valentine's Day is exactly the opposite of what he fought for. And I mean, I'm sure he'd be happy that you guys are expressing love and gratitude and commemorating him and remembering him, but you're remembering him in the wrong way. You shouldn't be remembering him as like, oh, we're free to love, love forever. I love you, let's show it to each other. It's like, no, this is a day to remember traditional marriage, getting married in the church, and having procreation after marriage,
And just the sanctity of the sacrament of marriage. That's and what family life is. I think maybe a good way we can actually spend Valentine's Day is praying for families, praying for strong Christian families. Right. And praying for the preservation of the sanctity of marriage for those who are married so that they can have strength, find strength in their marriage, and for families.
Yeah.
And children. And the youth.
So, and it's funny that you say that because on Valentine's Day, our parents, I mean, mainly our dad, because, he was the man, but he would give us presents on Valentine's Day. So that kind of like, and then we would give it to our siblings. Like, the girls would give the boys things, the boys would give the girl things. And so that kind of like reflects that it's a sanctity of family thing, a sanctity of marriage thing. So, and we didn't even think about that. We just did it. So that's a way you could do it. Celebrate Valentine's Day by giving it to your parents, giving it to your siblings, just to kind of like keep his memory alive in the right way, in the sanctity of family.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Valentine's Day is about. It is a Catholic holiday that once again got perverted by society.
As most things are.
Yeah. But it was originally just commemorating the life of Saint Valentine and what he went through to preserve the sanctity of marriage.
Yeah, and what we actually remember on February 14th is the anniversary of a guy who got beheaded.
Exactly.
For the faith.
Exactly, and we need to thank him for that.
Yes.
Thank him for what we have today. So who knows, if he didn't do what he did, it could have been way worse, way more spread,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed.
Yes, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you guys want to see any more videos like this. Check out the link tree for more content and do all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're praying for you. God bless you, and keep your heart burning.
Bye.